Hello, Squirrel Tribe. Listen, there are a few things we need to discuss today. One of them being that Nancy Pelosi has lost her ever-loving mind. The second one being that so has Joe Biden, but we've known that for a while. And the third being so is Kamala Harris, but we've also known that for a while. So basically, we're going to talk about a bunch of people who have no marbles left. All right, so the very first thing I want to show you guys that Joe Biden posted on X, or somebody posted for Joe Biden on X, is this little fun doozy right here, with this lovely picture of him and Kamala. Clearly this picture is from at least 4 years ago. There's no way that is new because the current Joe Biden does not look like this Joe Biden. But this post that Joe Biden or whoever put on X 2 days ago, I believe it was, one of the best decisions I've made was picking Kamala Harris as my vice president. Now that she will be our party's nominee, I couldn't be prouder. Let's win this. Because remember, 2 days ago, we mentioned the fact that she has enough of the Democrat delegates who voted for her in the virtual poll that they did or whatever, so that she would be the official Democrat nominee on the presidential ballot at the DNC August, I think it's 19th through the 22nd. I know it's in Chicago. I know they're clearing the streets of Chicago out of illegal immigrants, so it looks a little less brown there, which is interesting. Anyway, they're clearing out Chicago, so it looks better for the press, right? And Joe Biden's posted this. He's super excited that Kamala is going to be taking over for him because he only has 90 days left, according to him, because the president can't do math. Technically, he's got way more than that if they're keeping him in office until January 20th, like in theory they should, unless, of course, they're pulling that 25th Amendment and maybe he's gone sooner. Now, a couple other things we need to talk about. Numerous things we need to talk about. Number one, I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend. It is Sunday. It is a family day. My family just left. My mother and mother-in-law have left to go back to Georgia. So that's why we're here late. It is almost 7 p.m., almost dinner time to feed my husband and my child. But first, we're going to go through these fun little tidbits that I have here for you. So, number two that we're going to talk about is this here. Kamala Harris, Indian American Kamala Harris, or the Black American that she's now touting to be Kamala Harris with the collard greens in the plane. We talked about that yesterday or the day before. For some reason, she decided that she wanted to go to a record store today with the press there. I guess they got a heads up that she was going to go vinyl shopping, and decided to go in and buy as many black artists on vinyl as she could to prove her blackness, I guess. Let me make sure there's no volume here because YouTube likes to do stupid things now with volume. But this is good old Kamala Harris walking out of a record store with a bag in her hand and the service that I don't have down here in my Jeep. She went in to buy some records, right? To show people that she listens to black artists. And of course, they're older artists. You know, it makes sense. I don't think Meg Thee Stallion's really on vinyl. She was only twerking on stages in Atlanta for her. I don't think she's wiki on vinyls. But she went to go buy. You see that? She pulls out the black man to play the black card. Here's the thing, ma'am. If you were like blackety black, you'd already have those. You wouldn't be going out right now to buy them to prove it. Just pointing that out for anybody who was curious. That is all for show, and it's not real, okay? Now, the other thing that we need to talk about here is, if I can get this to come up, because you know how technology doesn't like to do its job every once in a while. Maybe it's because of those clouds up above me where everything's settled in. According to Kamala Harris, she thinks everything is up in the clouds right above our heads. This I thought was really cool. So after Kamala did her little Meg Thee Stallion bit in Atlanta at a rally, President Donald Trump was in Atlanta, and he met with one of the females we talked about yesterday, one of the females that he saw at Chick-fil-A. And then while he was on stage at his rally in Atlanta, there's a local artist in Atlanta called Artlanta, which is cute, right? He presented Trump a magnificent painting of the iconic picture from Butler, Pennsylvania, the one where after, you know, the attempted assassination, the bullet grazed his ear, he stood up, fight. They brought him a picture, which is going to be very hard to see because the service down here is shoddy, but Artlanta painted this for him, and that's a very good picture. You see this on t-shirts everywhere, right? We were driving home today. We went to get coffee at Black Rifle Coffee in Niceville, Florida, which if you guys are ever around here, Black Rifle Coffee, they are veteran owned. They support veterans like all day long. Tons of great stuff in there. Their coffee's great. I'm not sponsored. I just like their message, what they stand for, and their coffee was really good, and their teas, right? But we're driving back, and there's all these like gimmicky little shops and whatnot. And the t-shirt places always have those "I'm with stupid" or "I'm stupid," you know, those t-shirts with the little thumbs and whatnot. But the one place we passed had just an entire wall of FJB ones and "Let's Go Brandon," and then an entire wall of Trump with the "Fight, Fight, Fight" logo. And I thought it was night and day. It was really cool looking, honestly, how the shirts that were for Trump, they looked patriotic, and the ones obviously for Biden don't really look patriotic, because there's not much that I think that Joe Biden has done for the country that screams patriotism. It's just, or, you know, yay America. Nothing he has done has really screamed that for me. Open border policy definitely doesn't do it. Speaking of open borders, I don't know if you guys have seen what is going on literally around the world. The amount of border crisis, it's not just here in the United States. Yes, obviously we're having a border crisis at our southern border, and that, you know, the border czar Kamala Harris has done nothing to fix. But other countries are having the same issue. But right now they're having an issue with I don't know if it's all Muslim backed or how it is in every country, but if you jump on X, you jump on Facebook, you jump on YouTube and look at videos there, because the mainstream media for some reason is not showing the things that are actually happening around the world. There is a lot of violence going on amongst immigrants, illegal immigrants, and maybe possibly some legal immigrants. Violence against the citizens of the countries that these people are in, because the citizens of the countries want to close borders. And so there's been massive violence going on everywhere. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's been posting about it on X. So has Benny Johnson. There's been a lot of posts. I think even Candace Owens has something up about it. Elon Musk has even posted about it, because it is a huge deal. And it's like, if Kamala Harris is voted in November 5th, we will be the next country that's having these massive protests and just fights in the streets, because our country is going to start to look like these other countries that are literally being overrun right now by violence. And it's a terrifying thing. I can't show any of it on here. YouTube has this new thing where you can't show any kind of violence, even if it is news related and showing you exactly what is going on. I can't do it. I will try to put links to a couple of different posts on X in the pinned comments so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, because it is worth looking at, because it is easily something that could start happening here. We've already seen violence in our streets, especially in like Eagle Pass and places like that in Texas, where people are coming over. We've seen the videos of the illegal immigrants busting down any kind of barriers or borders that have been put up. And we know how many illegal immigrants we've seen that have murdered women and men, have raped women and younger girls. And it's not going to get any better if we continue on with the same administration that we have that's allowing it to happen now. That was off topic, but it needed to be said. So that's that. The other thing I wanted to say, let's get to Nancy Pelosi here and how she's lost her ever-loving mind, which it hasn't really been there for a long time. But before we do that, this is a Benny Johnson post on X that I wanted to read you guys. It says, "A recession is looming, World War III on the horizon, prices remain through the roof, tens of millions of migrant invaders. But on the other hand, Megan Thee Stallion is twerking for Kamala. Oh, and they say JD Vance is weird." Really difficult decision, guys. Which is true. We have, if you sit there and you step back and you look at what the options are vote-wise, again, not even for Trump versus Kamala, but policy versus policy, what happened under this person's 4 years in office versus what has been happening under this person's 4 years in office, and in theory another 4 years. It's a very easy decision on which way to vote, right? I'm not even saying it's Trump versus Harris. It's literally America versus against America, in my personal opinion, and that's how I see it. This other one here, Nick Sorter is the one who posted this. Y'all, Nancy Pelosi just told CBS Sunday Morning that Joe Biden should be added to Mount Rushmore. I kid you not. Even liberal anchor Leslie Stahl was like, what the hell? She says, so according to Nancy Pelosi, so first off, Leslie Stahl was like, so you're telling me that Joe Biden is up on the same level as Abraham Lincoln? And Nancy Pelosi is like, yes, he's great. He's one of the best presidents we've ever had. You should take off, who did she say? I don't remember who she said. It wasn't Lincoln. I don't remember who she said. She said, take somebody off and put Biden on. It wasn't add him on. It was literally get rid of one of the presidents on Mount Rushmore and add Biden. And I cannot remember who she said. So I'm going to put the link to this one in the pinned comment as well, because I just took a screenshot. I didn't put the link to it. But it's like, ma'am, I know that you're getting older, but just because you're getting older does not mean that your mind should immediately stop working. That seems to be the case with Joe Biden. But for her to think that Joe Biden has done anything well enough to even warrant being on Mount Rushmore, are you serious right now? Woman has lost her ever-loving mind. Now, this other thing I want to show you, it might, I don't know, it might be a little bit racist. It's not meant to be, but it's funny as hell. So, it's so funny. And I might get a lot of shit for this, but it cracked me up when I saw it, so I had to do it. Look, y'all. Okay, so here, there's Kamala with her little cackle grin, and it says, the economy is so bad right now that even Joe Biden's job is being outsourced to an Indian. Get it? Because we outsource everything to India. Like I said, it might be a little bit racist, but it's hilarious no matter how you look at it. Then again, there may be a seat in hell just for me. Other thing, I was curious earlier today. I was like, you know who I haven't seen since he did something real stupid? Joe Biden. What's he been up to? So for those of you who aren't aware, because I honestly did not know this was the website, there is a website called rollcall.com, and it literally is the president's entire schedule. And the reason I was looking it up is because the last time we saw a good old Joe Biden was right after he was accused of being mentally stable while boarding the Russian prisoner plane after they were released. So the Russian prisoners got released. They were sent back home, right? And they get off this airplane, and you've got Joe and Kamala standing there. And when it's all said and done, for some reason, Kamala Harris watches good old Joe go walk up the stairs to get into the Russian plane. Nobody stopped this man. They let him walk up the stairs and get in the plane. Ma'am, vice president, one who wants to be future president, what are you doing? Like, you literally have, technically you have numerous jobs, but one of them would probably, in my mind, be to keep the president from boarding a Russian plane. Just seems like a obvious whatever, like, psst, Joe, stop, come back. No, like, is there like a dog whistle? Do they have like a special clap or whatever they can do to get his attention to, Could they have brought some ice cream out real fast, maybe get a whiff of that chocolate chip ice cream? He would have come running. Something to stop this man from climbing the stairs to the Russian airplane. Here's the problem. Joe Biden stood there, watched the prisoners get off said plane, did a little weird circle like he was lost, and then turned around and went up the stairs. It's not like he moved and got closer to Air Force One. None of that happened. He didn't get in a vehicle and get driven closer to Air Force One. Air Force One did not taxi up to him. And there are way less stairs getting onto this plane than there are on the ones he normally tumbles down. So there are so many things that should have been like small little radars going off in his brain going, wrong plane, bad idea, probably shouldn't do this. But here's the problem. The mental decline is real. Therefore, there was no little synapses, whatever, firing, telling him, hey, Jojo, no, not a good idea. And he got on the plane. What would have happened? What would have happened if the pilot and the people in this plane were like, hey, you know what? This is the easiest way to steal a president. Somebody put the stairs up. Let's go. Because nobody was stopping it. Nobody was stopping it. Which in and of itself is absolutely crazy to me that nobody was stopping it. So I pulled up rollcall.com to figure out where the president has been because I was very curious. And it's a very convoluted looking schedule here. I don't know if red means stop, yellow means caution, green means go. I don't know if that means some of these happened and some of them did not. But Friday, the 2nd, was the last thing that I see on here because obviously Saturday, Sunday, I guess nothing happens and they don't say anything. But he went to Wilmington, Delaware on Friday. So I am now under the assumption, because I don't know, because I don't have any updated stuff here, that he's probably eating some chocolate ice cream, chilling by a pool, doing nothing. And I don't know if we're going to see him again anytime soon, because again, the last time we saw him was him trying to board a plane. He did his press briefing by Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Thursday. He had his remarks on, the freeing Americans detained in Russia, which is what we looked at the video of him getting on the plane afterwards. And then That's about it. He had lunch with the vice president on July 31st. President and vice president have lunch, closed to the press. I wonder what happened there. Just anything could have been talked about there. But I'm just all kinds of stuff on the schedule, but none of it in the public eye, which seems a little shady to me. Just, I'm putting it out there. So I'm curious what's going to happen with him next week. I do know that there's a lot going on. I've been paying attention to everything, and I know that there's more people on the Democrat side trying to convince you not to, they're not even trying to convince you not to vote for Trump. They're trying to convince you to vote for Kamala because, and I have no answer. I've been searching for the because, and I can't find it. The only thing I have found is that they want you to vote for Kamala Harris because she's a black female, except she's not. They want you to vote for Kamala Harris because she's done such a good job at bringing down the inflation, but she hasn't. They want you to vote for Kamala Harris because she's done such a great job, her and Joe, of getting unemployment levels leveled out, but they haven't. They want you to vote for her because the housing industry is really doing well, but it's not. They want you to vote for her because gas prices are great, but they're not. There's so many things that they're not, so they can't really tell you what to vote for because there's no positive thing that can possibly be said. Vote for her. She's going to fix the border crisis. Well, she had 4 years to do it. She didn't do a damn thing. If you need 8 years to do what you should have done in the first 4, we've got a problem already. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to be, and I say interesting every single time, but I'm very curious what is going to happen on November 5th because it's noticeable, if you're paying attention, that there are a lot of people who are willing to vote for Kamala without having any idea of what she has or has not done or what she can do, because she hasn't said what she can do. Everything that comes out of her mouth has been word salad, literally everything, which is probably why she is, saying no to that September 4th debate with Donald Trump on Fox, because they can't do it with ABC. He's in litigation with ABC. They already did it on CNN, which is what Joe Biden wanted. So now it should be up to what Donald Trump wants, which is to debate on Fox. That should be how it goes. That way you technically get a little bit of both sides. And she's saying no, she's not going to do it. And I think that says a lot, again, because there's nothing she could say to debate against Donald Trump and what he accomplished while he was in office and what he could accomplish in the next 4 years, because she has accomplished absolutely nothing, and she has no clue what to do for the next 4 years. She herself said that she has no idea how to be a president. She said it herself. She has been asked numerous times on the inflation and the economy, and she has no clue how to even contemplate addressing the questions of how did we get here, let alone how do we get out of this? How do we fix our economy? How do we make it so that the American people can afford gas and food on the same day, can afford mortgage and, health insurance at the same time? She has no idea because she's clueless. Plain and simple, clueless. Anyway, if there comes a petition to put Joe Biden's face on Mount Rushmore, please don't sign it. It's not a good idea. It's not a good look. He won't look good up there. We just need to leave it alone. Nobody else needs to be added. It's fine. All right, Squirrel Tribe. Listen, I love y'all immensely. For those of you who happen to be in the path of Hurricane Debbie, I believe it is, stay safe. I can hear raindrops starting over here. I'm not in the path. It looked like we were going to get hit real hard by this hurricane, but now it looks like we are safe. But the Tallahassee area all the way up and through Jacksonville looks like it's going to get completely just demolished. So y'all out there, be safe. Pay attention to what the weather is saying. It's going to be a bad one. So make sure you have the things that you need just in case there's no power, in case there's flooding and things like that. If you have the ability to get out and go somewhere else, I say do it, because it is one of the big technically the one that hit Texas was one of the biggest, but this is the second big hurricane of the season. So just keep an eye out and be safe and be careful. Squirrel Tribe, I love y'all. Time to go feed the family. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.